I love this expansion. Eldritch Horror Cities in Ruin is my favorite expansion in the game by far. This is the 7th edition. This is the 7th expansion to the game, and it easily is like my favorite. I've been anticipating this expansion like more than I did previous expansions, because usually, yeah, it's nice to add more cards to the general pool, but this added like a few mechanisms that really just cemented this as something that made me think this game is gonna really change a lot. And in my opinion, it did. And here's why. Alright, in addition to the general new encounters you get with every new expansion, and the mystery and special encounters and clue encounters for the new ancient one, the Should Mill, if I'm pronouncing the name right, you also get 3 new spells, 6 new conditions, and 4 new unique assets, in addition to more allies, which is always a good thing. This expansion also comes with 4 new investigators. We got Roland Banks, the Fed, Rita Young, the athlete, Bob Jenkins, the salesman, and finally, the man himself, the drifter, Ashcan Pete. I've been waiting forever for this guy to finally get an expansion to this game, and we finally got Ashcan Pete. I am so excited. But now, guys, oh my god. Eldritch Horror Cities in Ruin does not mess around. Honestly, when you look at the new ancient one, Shed Mel, he just looks like a typical ancient one to start with. He has a reckoning effect of just losing 2 health and or sanity, big deal. He has a flip effect, 3 mysteries to win the game, yeah. When Doom advances to a space containing an Eldritch token, draw and resolve a disaster. Wait. Draw and resolve a disaster? Wait, what? What is that? Okay, wait, let me look at the setup. Set aside all said mill special encounters. Place 1 Eldritch token on spaces 2, 5, 8, and 11 of the Doom track. And Rome is devastated. What? What does that mean? Well, it means that Cities in Ruin introduces a new mechanic. The Disaster Deck. This is a big deal. This proves that Cities in Ruin is not messing around. Whenever he begins with Doom at 15, but there's Eldritch tokens on the Doom track, and whenever a Doom token moves onto an Eldritch token, something bad is about to happen, because when that happens, you have to draw from this deck, and anything could be on this card. It could be real bad. So let's just take an example. Sydney burned to the ground. That's not good. Each investigator loses 4 health and 4 sanity and gains 2 madness conditions. Sydney is devastated. What that means is that you take one of these tokens, these new devastation tokens, you put it on the city. That city is now no longer a city. That city is dead. Everyone inside it is dead. There's nothing there. Clues are just useless when it comes to devastated cities. You can't spawn clues in devastated cities. You can't move clues to devastated cities. Clues are basically useless. Oh, but you could still spawn monsters in devastated cities. You could still spawn gates. That's just wonderful. Well, a city that's just devastated, that just sounds like Bad News Bears. Yeah, it gets worse. If all 9 major cities happen to be devastated, it's over. Investigators lose the game automatically. It's just over. Game over, man. Game over. And to top it off, if you happen to be playing with the Shed Mill Ancient one, Rome is already devastated during setup. So they already have a head start on the world ending. It's just perfect. But it's not all bad news. If you happen to be in a devastated city during your encounter phase, you can choose to draw from the Devastation Deck. The Devastation Deck, I don't want to spoil too much, but it can be good, it can be bad, or it could be really bad. Or you might just be screwed from the get-go. Oh, and remember when I said the Devastation and Disaster cards were a new mechanic to the game? I meant that in a literal, general sense. There are Mythos cards in this expansion that directly tell the player that there's a possibility that the player may have to draw a disaster card. That means if you mix in all your Mythos cards, all your general encounter cards, if you mix them all into their general decks, which is technically what you're supposed to do since it says in the rules, you really have no choice but to add your disaster and devastation decks to every game of Eldritch Horror you play, regardless of what ancient one you're playing with. You were never feeling safe in this game, but with this new expansion, that feeling of hopelessness is even more hopeless, because now, no matter where you are, no matter where you stand, no matter what you're doing, there's a chance that you can be devastated. The city can be devastated. Nowhere is safe. All the cities might be gone. The only sanctuary in the world might be the freaking heart of Africa, for all you know. Nothing is sacred in this game due to this freaking expansion. And I love it all the more for it. That's it. That's basically my review. Eldritch Horror Cities in Ruin. I love the expansion. When it comes to disasters and devastations, they're just like really gorgeous to me. And I'm hoping, like, if there's any future expansions, I really wish there are, that more disasters and devastations would be added to these expansions, because it just makes it seem like it's a more permanent mechanic with how they're just adding them, like, generally in Mythos cards and all that, just for you to use with every new game, which I'm fine with. It's basically made this expansion an essential pickup, like a required pickup. The first expansion, Forsaken Lore, is just an expansion that adds more general cards to every card pool. I recommend you actually get that one first because it makes the game more thorough, like much bigger. But then after that, definitely get this one because this expansion is just so great. And I actually feel like I have to thank Fantasy Flight for making this one. Like, thank you guys. I just love this expansion to my favorite game ever. Favorite expansion, favorite game. And that's just like really saying something. But that's basically my review. Bye.